I'm sitting in my bathtub. I have sports bras behind me. Jesus. Those are my leggings on the side of the tub in case you want to know this noise. My slippers and my leggings. I'm going to clean my tub out. Obviously. I think I have glitter in it from a bath bomb, but what else is new? So if this is your first video of mine, this is kind of a weird one to start with, but hello, welcome to my channel. I take the holidays very seriously and I go hard. This is like the only time of the year that I really try to just go like sky's the limit, you know? And every year I try to get better. This is one of what I think will be 2, maybe 3 videos where I like show some secrets. And I don't mean that in like a clickbaity way, but I mean that in like a, please God, don't let your kids watch this way. If your kids believe, do not let them see this. I cannot stress that to you enough. This video is how I do. Now I've got kids that are 7 and 9. So part of this and my hushed tones at times are because I'm trying to keep them believing. I take the holidays super seriously. If you're new to my channel, it is like really where I flex throughout the year. I kind of just coast for like 9 months. And then come September, I start really getting into the planning stages. And then I just execute come like October 1st, really. I think I started a little bit early this year just because the 2020 sucks, but not the point. The point of this video is to help you increase the magic of Santa. And I'll give you just a few things that I do to really drive it home. I will tell you, these are not like last minute solutions. So if you're like, I need something like tomorrow, you might be able to pull 1 or 2 of these off, but like this maybe should be for next year. But hopefully you get ideas either way. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that we do that really are impactful. I need to be very careful with what I say when I say it, on account of the fact that I got 2 little kids in this house that still believe, and I really want to keep it that way for a while, because once it's gone, it's never quite the same again. So I just try to hold on as long as I can, you know. And so I'm going to show you what we do, and hopefully this inspires you. I would love to know what you do at your home. I love to hear all the different ways he shows up and does stuff, but yeah. We do not do Elf on the Shelf. We don't do it because Jeremy doesn't want them to get that comfortable with surveillance, which is fair. I hadn't actually heard that argument before. I just never had any reason to have one, but it does make sense. And literally everybody I know hates the damn thing because they gotta constantly like figure out what to do with it. But yeah, so we don't do that. But what I do is I call him. And I haven't had to do it much this year, but what I do is there's a phone number you can call and it goes to voicemail, and the voicemails roll long, and I'll put it on speakerphone. And it scares them. So I usually do it when the kids are misbehaving, and I'll be like, I'm gonna call Santa. And I call the number, and you hear, ho, 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 and just the faces, you know? So yeah, I'll post that below. Another thing I do is I keep the wrapping separate. So at our house, Santa uses brown craft paper and red and white string. So it's like brown paper packages wrapped up in string. I took that and made that Santa. I've done that for years, but I do that so it's different from ours, but it's also easy to keep that consistent. You know, you can always find that. Something we're doing a little bit differently this year. Normally my dad's with us, but on account of Rona and we're all high risk, it's not possible. So normally he writes, because they don't recognize his handwriting, so he'll write the to's and the froms, and that way it's, you know what I mean, unidentifiable and magical. But since he's not here, Jeremy made little tags from his Cameo machine. And so we spent a little bit of time finding the right shape and like the font and everything, because I'm really particular, but it wasn't hard to do at all. And so we printed those out. And then what I did, since my dad won't be here, is I went ahead and I stuffed my dad's stocking, I put everything in it, and I mailed it to him. And then that way, when we do our Zoom call on Christmas Day, it's consistent. You know what I mean? So we don't lose any of that. Something else I do is I have Santa sacks. So Santa only wraps what goes in your stocking at our house. So in the sacks, those are unwrapped. So I bought each of them a sack with their name embroidered on it, and I hide them. As I fill it, I just put it in the bag, and then I put all their stocking stuffers in their bags. And that way, on Christmas Eve, it's just easy to like pull out and put in, you know what I mean? I know I'm being over careful, but I just really don't want to risk it. So I apologize if you're like, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. And then I put those under the tree, like in the very front, or on the side, kind of depending on what the present situation is that year, like and how big it is. Another thing I do, I buy spray snow and I spray the whole fireplace and the floor, and then I take boots and I put tracks through, so it looks like he, you know, it like adds to the magic. The last thing I did this year to really drive home the uniqueness of this year, we are high risk. So we just haven't done anything. Like the measures that we have to take, it's so hard. So it's like, it's either just doesn't happen or it's modified to all hell or whatever, right? So taking that into account, I was thinking about if the kids asked, you know, how did he visit all those people and come safely into our home and nobody else can? So what I did was I went on Etsy, and there's a calligrapher that does these really beautiful custom letters, and it's so detailed and gorgeous and so worth it. It's got a wax seal. It's just gorgeous. I bought this specific one because I could customize the entire letter. Like I could write it. It wasn't some form like "you've been good this year." I needed something that spoke to this specific, you know, concern of mine. So I went ahead and I bought 2 of them, one for each of them, and I'm gonna put it on top of their sacks, their Santa sacks, and then it's got their names. I'll show you the back of them, and I'll try to like hide their name just so I can show you what they kind of look like. But I basically did how he was able to successfully do this, and basically that he sanitized everything, and you know, and he spoke to each one of them in those letters. And you know, that's not something that I'm going to do every year, but it is something that I thought was really necessary for our family this year. And it's also something that I think is going to be such a great memory, you know, like such a great way to remember this year and this Christmas. So I mean, it's definitely something that we're going to keep. Those letters are, because they're just gorgeous. I haven't even opened them because I can't, but they're beautiful. So I'll link everything I can below. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this gives you maybe some ideas on how to make it more magical and special. And you know, another thing I would just kind of add on is we don't do the big gifts from Santa. We don't let him deliver Xboxes or PlayStations or anything like that. Like there's all the big ones come from us because we're the ones busting our ass the whole year. And you know, and so the other reason is because I really don't want them in that like innocent excitement kind of way when they go back to school and they all talk about what they got. I don't love the idea of them saying that, and some kid who's probably perfect all year or close to it just doesn't have the means to have that from Santa. So we're both really mindful of that. So it's more like he gives you some toys, some functional, but we take on all the big stuff, you know, because that way it's much easier to explain. And I'd hate for another kid to be like, well, how come Santa doesn't love me or something like that? Like, it's just like, my heart breaks for those kids. So, yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope it maybe gave you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.